All right, John, we're going to take a look at your swings from the lesson from the other day. On the left is your swing before the lesson, and on the right is after I worked with you for a little bit. I've drawn a box that starts down around your ankles and extends up toward the top of your head, and that is just going to give you sort of a point of reference for where your body mass is throughout the golf swing. You know, one of your biggest issues, or your biggest issue as we talked, was you didn't have consistent control over the low point of your swing because your swing centers were sort of moving all around, moving backwards away from the target in sort of this direction here on the backswing, and then on the follow through your weight stayed back on your right side as well, never really transferring all of that weight forward in this direction. But anyways, I'm going to play both swings for you from start to finish so you can just kind of see those and see what they look like and do some comparisons, and then we'll take it sort of frame by frame. Notice here on the left how your head and your body is moving away from the target. Left arm is sort of bending and the club is just collapsing on top of you. And then here on the way down, you never really shift your weight to your left side. Your left knee straightens too soon and your hips don't push forward. Here on the right, a much different swing. As the club moves away, you're staying very centered on your pivot. Left arm is staying nice and straight. Shorter backswing position. As you start down, you're pushing your hips forward, getting your weight all over here on your left side. Alright, so let's kind of compare these two swings and two positions. First of all, I want to start at address and talk really briefly about just sort of recapping what we talked about. Number one was, one of the keys for you is really getting your feet, flared out in these directions right here in your setup, and getting your knees sort of pointed in those same direction out, out toward your feet. On the left, you were taking a really wide, stance, and your knees were sort of pinching inwards towards each other, and your feet were really squared off. Also, you'll notice the forward handle lean here, much more forward shaft lean at address. Remember, that's important because that's the only way for us to hit down on the golf ball and to hit the ball first before the ground. So we're trying to emulate that position at impact, so that's one of the reasons why I'm having you start from that position. Arms are hanging down nice and straight, and your weight is more over here on your left side, sort of in this direction. As we take the club back here on the left, sort of to the top of your backswing position, notice how your left arm just sort of bends, and the length of your radius is dramatically shortened. And remember, this was one of the ways that you skew the low point of your swing. Here on the right, doing a much better job. Notice how your left shoulder is working more down and underneath your chin. What that's doing is stabilizing your spine. The side tilt that you have, or the side bend that you have, is stabilizing your spine and keeping it more vertical. I mean, I could literally draw a straight line down your, right down your back and down your left leg here. That's a good indication that you're doing a much better job of controlling your swing bottom, or your low point. Nice job keeping the left arm in a much straighter condition here. That's going to help you generate more speed and power. Back here again on the left, as you start down, notice how your head in the downswing sort of moves away from the target in this direction. So that's an indication that your weight is sort of falling back. You're falling back onto your right side, and your weight is not getting through the golf ball. That's going to do a couple of things. Number one, it's going to move the low point of your swing backwards away from the target and cause the club to bottom out before the golf ball. It's also going to cause you to sort of flip at the bottom and have no forward shaft lean. You're actually adding a tremendous amount of loft. If you take a look at where the shaft is here, you can see it's leaning away from the target. That's going to add a tremendous amount of loft to the golf club, and that's one of the reasons why you're not hitting the ball as far. If we take a look here on the right, remember we talked about the swing really starting from the ground up, from the top. First the left knee moving in this direction, and then the left hip moving in this direction. And as those hips slide, your arms will just sort of drop. Not shift out, but just drop. And here we go, club dropping down, left knee, left hip pushing forward. Upper center is staying put, and that's one of the reasons why at impact, which is right here, now you look at how much forward shaft lean you have. It's tremendously different image here. That's how you hit the golf ball with compression. That's how you swing out to the right, producing that right to left ball flight that we talked about. And that's how you also sort of de-loft the club to hit your irons further. So amazing changes there at impact. Just taking it on to the finish, really the biggest thing that we had to work on after this was, really your weight just kind of fell back on your right side. Notice you're here almost all the way to the finish, and you're still, pretty flat-footed here. Your right foot's still down on the ground, and your weight is falling away from the target. On the right side, much better job getting to your left side. Finish up with all your weight here on your left side, and just a little bit of weight on your right side still. One of the things I want you to work on, though, is just continuing to pushing your hips forward in this piece here and trying to maintain straight arms. I'd like to see you with more extension in this frame right here. I'd like to see those arms, looking like sort of like this. And see the shaft coming out sort of in this angle. Okay, much more extension, and that will come as you learn to push your hips forward, jump off the ground, and sort of raise your belt buckle to the target. Raise your belt buckle to the target in this fashion. Overall, nice job on your very first lesson. I hope this helped you.